Hi friends, hello from Prague. Summer's over, we're getting back into a routine this fall, but I wanted to share a few highlights from my summer. This is English camp with my church youth group. They were hosting this week. We start every morning with some English activities. So there was sports or normal English lesson, and I was asked to lead the art, which just meant we had English conversation as we were doing it. Um, I do not consider myself an artist, but I just brought some paper mache and painting and collages and things we could do. And I think in the end, everyone found something that they enjoyed. Some of these kids are really talented. And then every afternoon are random games you can see that happen throughout the day. Sometimes there are also workshops that we do. And so one of them, here we were learning line dancing. One of the girls, American girls, was teaching. And then there are random activities throughout the evenings later at night. One of them was a Western night. We did some square dancing, which everyone really enjoyed. Um, every evening is some spiritual program. And so there was a camp dance that went with it. You can see here. And then one of the Americans gave a talk every evening around the topic of home and what is home. Following the evening talk were small group discussions. And then one of the last nights, we have what is called a labyrinth with different stations, and the kids walk around and reflect on questions they're given and consider really what the gospel story is. Often, this is one of the most impactful nights for everyone. One of the most significant pieces of this week was rooming with Yana. I've known her for a few years. Her mother died a few years ago, and her life is just really challenging with two siblings who have some emotional struggles as well. And she's very, very introverted and struggles with some self esteem issues. And so it was really great to be able to connect with her throughout the week. She seems to trust me, and so she opens up a little bit to me, and she even recognized, she said, I don't know if I would have gotten through this week without you. So I really felt like that was God ordained, that we were able to room together this week. And I was able to be there for her. I hope to continue to interact with her and be there for her in Prague as well. The second week of English camp, also in the mountains, is with a Christian organization here. I was teaching English in the morning to a group of lower level students who are also really introverted. So it's kind of hard to get them to talk, especially for our evening spiritual discussions. We do a lot of games and activities. Here's a fashion show. Every week of camp, we also do a hike, a day hike. So it could be anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, something like that, and like 8 to 12 or 14 miles. But I really enjoy it as a time to connect with various kids along the way. And again, there are all kinds of afternoon activities and workshops. Here we're making barefoot sandals, which was really cool. There was an evening superhero night because the theme of the week was who is your superhero? So that was also a fun time together. And I learned a lot. Fortunately, one kid in our class knew superheroes. Here he's Doctor Strange. I had no idea who Doctor Strange was. Now I have a tiny bit of an idea. So we did a skit together. A fun tradition at every camp is that we sing our grace. This is one of the more prettier ones. And of course, the evening program looks fairly similar. There's worship and a talk and then small group discussion. The last week of summer was spent with my church family on a church retreat in the mountains. It's not necessarily retreat for me because of language and people. It's pretty intense. Every morning we have some input or discussion around certain topics. And then afternoons are generally free. And that means we go hiking just about every day. I love it. I love the nature here. And so for me, being in the mountains, that part is paradise for me. And it was great to recognize that I'm feeling more connected in my church. People know who I am. These friends, Marie, this is Danka, are really dear friends. I feel like I'm welcomed in. and I can manage even my Czech without feeling like I get stuck too often, which is great progress. So a few Czech items here. This is kofala, which is the Czech version of Coke. And then pretty much a national sport here is collecting mushrooms in late summer and fall. So the kids here have quite the stash, which the parents will take home and freeze or dry and use in soups, etc. And then our church holiday ended with a campfire, and it was great to be together and have some traditional Czech songs around the fire. It was a really great week. One exciting piece from our church holiday was that I was invited to share about Lectio Divina. I had been in conversation with one of the elders from our church about how to develop deeper relationships with God, and he suggested some outlets for me to share about what's on my heart and what I've learned over the years. And so I'm really excited about some of the pieces that are developing to be involved with discipleship and worship and even pastoral care within the church. One other piece that is really exciting is that next week we start a language cafe, English-Czech language cafe called Cafe Connect, and we'll invite Czechs from the community have been invited, and we have native speakers who will be there, and it seems like there's really good support and excitement about this ministry. So please pray that Czechs will come, that we'll build meaningful relationships and have meaningful conversations with the people who are there. It's really exciting, the doors that God is opening, and the excitement that people have for what God is building. So thanks for partnering in this, in the ministry in the Czech Republic. God is doing great things. Ciao.